Hi and welcome to this Educate Fitness YouTube short covering level 2 gym instructing. In this video we're going to be looking at the skeletal system. We're going to be talking about bones, about cartilage, not too much on joints because we cover that in another lesson. But yeah, let's crack on. So the framework of the human body is the skeletal system. It's made up of bones, it's made up of cartilage, it's made up of joints. Let's talk about the bones and cartilage first. So what is bone? Well, bone is calcified connective tissue. Bones does have its own blood supply. As we know, bones are very hard in texture, they're solid, and they contain important minerals that the body requires to function. All right. In total, there are 206 bones in the human body. So what about cartilage? What's the difference? What are cartilage? Well, cartilage is dense fibrous tissue that can withstand compression forces. All right. It acts as a shock absorber, so it absorbs shock and it reduces friction. When there's something called synovial fluid in around a joint and around the cartilage, it does reduce friction, and that's one of the functions. Absorbs shock absorbs and it reduces friction. Cartilage does tend to cover the end of the bones, and there are three main types. Let's go through each one individually because they are quite different. We've got hyaline, we've got elastic, and we've got fibrocartilage. So hyaline cartilage, this is the most common type of cartilage, all right? You'll find it at the ends of bones and it's there to form joints. Hyaline cartilage, it's thin, it's strong, and it's smooth. So let me just explain that a little further. It's actually thin in texture and it's strong and smooth, all right? And the purpose here is it reduces friction. As I mentioned, around the synovial joint, there's something called synovial fluid. We'll cover that in much more detail in the joint short. But the synovial fluid helps to reduce friction to avoid bones rubbing together, all right? And that's what a hyaline cartilage is. Next, we've got elastic joints. And these are found in places that require specific maintenance of a shape. So the two examples that we can give is the epiglottis and also the eustachian tubes in the ear. Now, elastic cartilage is similar to hyaline cartilage, however, it does have more fibres. And most of the fibres within this elastic cartilage are made up of elastin, which means they can stretch and they can go back to their original shape. Next, we've got fibrocartilage. Now, fibrocartilage does act as a shock absorber in cartilaginous joints. They are thick and they're stronger, and they are found less in the body. And they come in various shapes and forms. Now, a quick point here and a quick differentiator, because people do tend to get this wrong, is the difference between ligaments and tendons. Again, we're going to go through this in another video short, another YouTube short, where we go into tendons and ligaments in a little bit more detail. But just for now, the main thing that you need to remember and get your head around is ligaments attach bone to bone, all right? Ligaments, bone to bone, whereas tendons, not bone to bone, it's muscle to bone, all right? Something to keep reminding yourself on, get used to. Ligaments, bone to bone, tendons, muscle to bone. Very important. Okay, so that covers cartilage. It covers ligaments, it covers tendons. We've also gone through a bone. What is a bone? Let's now look at the skeletal system, the actual skeleton, right? So when we look at the skeleton, we can split it into two sections. We've got something called the axial skeleton. All right, and then we've got the appendicular. All right, the easiest way to remember this is that the axial skeleton is the orange section here. It's the core of your skeleton, right? It's the main core of your skeleton. It includes things like your skull, you've got your sternum, your ribs, your spine, all right? Then we got the appendicular. What is the appendicular? Well, it's everything that hangs off the axial skeleton. It's the hanging skeleton. And it's a good way to remember it. Axial is the core of the skeleton. Appendicular is the hanging skeleton, all right? The appendages, everything that hangs off there. So as you can see here, you've got things like the clavicle, the scapula, we've got the arm muscles, the humerus, the ulna, we've got the we've got the pelvis, the bones of the hand, phalanges, metacarpals, we've got the leg bones, fibia, tibia, all the hanging. So axial, the main core of the skeleton, skull, ribs, spine. Appendicular is the hanging skeleton. It's important to understand the differences between axial and appendicular. And when we bring it all together, we have what's made up of the skeleton. All right, so we've covered that. Let's finish by going through the functions of the skeleton. Now, as you can see here, how many do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 functions of the human skeleton. First and foremost, the skeleton gives us our shape and structure, and it gives us the framework of the whole human body. The next function is movement. All of the bones in there allows movement, all right? So we've got the bones, and we have obviously things like muscles that allow us to move these bones. The bones act as a lever for movement. Next, we've got soft tissue attachment. Obviously, we've just mentioned muscles. These muscles need to attach to something. What do they attach to? Well, they attach to bones, they attach to tendons, so on and so forth. Protection. Important one, right? We've got some very important organs that we need protecting. Our brain, our heart. Where is our brain protected? In the skull. The heart is protected through the rib cage. Storage of important minerals. We're looking at things like phosphorus, calcium, salt. Our body needs these important minerals and we need them quickly. So what happens is our body, our bones, our skeleton, it stores these important minerals ready for quick release when the body needs them. And finally, we've got production of cells. So there are certain bones in the human body that can produce red and white blood cells that are vital for the human body to work healthily and to be healthy. Okay, so that's the basics of the skeletal system, what you need to know for the level 2 gym instructing qualification. As always, take the time to go through this slide and see if you can present it yourself. If you can, you're going to have a good basis, a good standard of knowledge to get through the level 2 gym instructing anatomy and physiology exam. If you have any questions, please do ask them in the comments below. Please do subscribe to the channel and click on the bell for future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.